What's up, people? What's up? What's good? How y'all doing today? TC here. Check this out. Today I want to talk a little bit about um, Morgan Freeman. Morgan Freeman seems to have gotten caught up in the Me Too movement. I guess that's what he's caught up in. He could be caught up in the larger conspiracy to discredit black men. Like Eddie Griffin said, no black man gets out of this industry clean. Uh, Morgan Freeman is 80 years old, and it's almost time for him to get out. So we got to get an asterisk by his name. But anyway, it seems that some women are coming out talking about he has been sexually harassing them, sexually harassing them. And I'm thinking to myself, Morgan Freeman sexually harassing people? He 80 years old. What are you gonna do? So I think to myself, if you so much as tell a woman she look good in a dress, does that constitute sexual harassment? I don't know. But anyway, a motherfucker like Morgan Freeman is one of these brothers who seems to think that if we stop talking about racism won't be such an issue. I mean, I heard him say that myself. He was talking to Don Lemon. It looked like an interview. And they were both, nodding and giving each other five or whatever and agreeing and shit. And I'm thinking to myself, these two cats is totally out of touch. One of them is a gay man, comes from a affluent family, I'm thinking. He looked biracial, but I don't know. He might be just light-skinned. And the other one is like a 80-year-old man who's been in Hollywood, I don't know, at least, forever and a day. And so, in order to keep his job, Don Lemon gonna say certain things, and in order to not lose his bankability in Hollywood, Morgan Freeman gonna say certain things. So then neither one of them are ever gonna come out and say, that racism is real. But whether those two guys admit it or not, racism is real. And to me, a problem with a lot of people like Don Lemon and Morgan Freeman is that they get so isolated from their community until they don't even, it's almost like they don't feel the racism that I feel. I mean, I can't relate to either one of those guys other than my blackness. I mean, because, they are, one of them is a newscaster, probably making a six-figure income or whatever, and Morgan Freeman is a rich Hollywood actor. Me, I'm a regular straight-up blue-collar black man. When I got out of school, I went straight to work. Straight into the belly of the beast I went. I hit glass ceiling after glass ceiling. And I was in one industry for 20 years and another one for 15 years. And both times the same shit happened to me. Plus I had gigs on the side where the shit was happening to me. I had bosses that were so bold that off the record they would tell me what's happening. You're too black. Your attitude isn't what it should be. If they could find a white boy or a white woman or a black woman or a coon that could half-ass do my job to promote over me, they would use him or her. That would happen time after time after time. Now, a motherfucker gonna say, well, maybe you weren't doing the job right. I led my departments, plural, from the time I got in them to the time I left them. In every goddamn category. Production, administrative, you name it. And I was at work every day. My work, man, I got a motherfucking work ethic like a field hand. That's my field hand genetics kicking in. But I kept hitting that glass ceiling. Boom, boom, boom. So Morgan Freeman and Don Lemon and people like that, they get nigga wake up moments and they seem surprised by it. They get nigga wake up calls and then they seem surprised by it. Well, I ain't surprised by it. This is part of the reason why black people can deal with stress. Regular black people, blue collar, down to earth, down to earth black people can deal with stress and adversity better than they can, because a lot of times they've been shielded from it. A lot of times they've been, it really don't touch them, but it touches the people around them. Morgan Freeman, Don Lemon, Issa Rae, Tiger Woods, and whatever other coon out there, ain't no way in the fuck they're gonna tell me that they don't know anybody who hasn't been affected directly by racism. And not just prejudice and bigotry, but racism. The kind of racism that can change your life. See, like Dr. Claude Anderson said, racism is power. Bigotry and prejudice don't really have no power. Anybody can be a bigot. Anybody can be prejudiced. But racism can change your life. Racism can tell you whether or not you're going to get that loan, where you can live, where you can go to school, where you can work. That's racism. And it only takes one. You could be doing everything right. Everything right. Going to school, going to work, raising your children, staying on the right side of the law. You could be doing everything right. And all it takes is one racist individual. Just one. To fuck all that up and screw your life up. A racist. Not a bigot, not a prejudiced individual, but a real racist. And that racist, he ain't got to be nothing but middle management. Lower middle management. And he could fuck all that up. I used to see it every day. And like I said, I've been victimized by it. I just didn't let it stop me because I had other shit going on outside of that work that they couldn't really touch, and then I wouldn't accept any help from them. But when you get to thinking that racism isn't real, you got to look back on your life and you got to seriously analyze what's happened to you over your professional life. Because if you black, it's touched you somewhere. You might not want to acknowledge it. You might just say, "Oh, he's just being stupid," or "She just don't know what she's talking about." No. "Oh, I'm just not going to call it racism." It was racism. If it impeded your progress, it's racism. If some white person told you couldn't have something that you was truly deserving of, and they seriously prevented you from getting it, that is racism. That's the ism in racism. You feel me? That's it. Because, like I said, man, liking somebody or disliking somebody just because of how they look, they can't stop you from doing anything just because they don't like you for how you look. That's the prejudice and the bigotry. But the racism is a totally different thing. Anyway, Morgan Freeman is, that's my Morgan Freeman piece right there. Morgan Freeman is feeling it now. Now he got to get on TV and kiss ass and say he's sorry for harmless shit. For telling somebody they look good. For compliments, for cracking a joke. You can't say shit to these bitches. No, you cannot. Check this out right here. I used to manage a supermarket. And it was a mid-sized city, up north. Syracuse, and Syracuse, New York, and it was in a location where you would get a lot of food stamp customers, and you get a lot of college customers, and a lot of upper middle class customers because of the location of the place. Huge place, all right. And I was the front end manager. So it was my job to be personable. And I was. The white people that used to come there would get the same treatment as the black people because that was my job. But my job is to make people have a pleasant shopping experience, solve whatever problem they might have, do price checks, make change, send kids on break, hire, fire, shit like that. And I did my job, and I did it well. But some of the little co-workers I had was white women. Some of them were black women, but some of them were white women. And they had the balls to tell me that I treated the black women better than I treated the white women. They said that shit because they thought that I was actually flirting with my coworkers. And I promise you I wasn't. I was friendly to everybody. But they were so busy watching me, if I smiled at a black woman, I was flirting with her. But nothing could be further from the fucking truth. I wasn't. They used that as a reason to not give me promotions. I swear to God. When I went upstairs, I had this little white manager named Rich. I'm not gonna say his last name because he's the type of motherfucker that'll stumble across this video and say I slandered his bitch ass name. But he was one of the white people to tell me that I have gone as far as I'm gonna go, and I'm lacking certain qualities that are preventing me from going any further. Blah blah blah. He was one of them. That was on the record. Then off the record, he wanted to joke and clown and bullshit around with me, you know. And he was a self-proclaimed redneck from upstate New York, from the fucking countryside that come into the city to work. Them motherfuckers burn crosses out there. But he was my boss. But anyway, that's the type of racism that I would have to deal with going to work every day. Yeah. So, I don't know. It might not seem like much, but little things like that happen to people every day on their job that they think ain't racism. But it is. It's lower level, but it still it prevents you from moving forward. It still impedes your progress. It still keep your pay at a certain level because with more responsibility come more money. And if they prevent you from having access to certain jobs, then they prevent you from having access to a certain income. And that is racism. And that's what Morgan Freeman is feeling now. This motherfucker wings got to get clipped before he fucking fully retired. Like I said, he 80 years old. He got, I don't know, 5-6 good years left. If that, you know. But after Bill Cosby, they go to Morgan Freeman. After Morgan Freeman, they're going to go to some other brother that's out there. They're thinking, you know, these white people love me. And, you know, on the same note, I mean, we done had, this is how, it was two brothers that got killed, or last week, week before last, a couple weeks ago, lynched. Their bodies were dismembered and, or killed and their bodies were dismembered, and they threw them in the lake or some shit. 4 white boys did it. To me, that comes from trusting white boys too much. Probably, I want to say in the late 90s maybe, this brother was partying with these white boys, got drunk. I want to say the name James Bird comes to mind. They tied him onto the back of a pickup truck and dragged him in the back of a pickup truck, decapitated the brother and killed him. Yeah, they went to jail, but my point is, you can't trust them motherfucking crackers. When you think that they're your goddamn friend, when you think that they're your motherfucking friend and you hanging out with them and you drinking with them and you thinking you one of the boys, never ever believe that shit because you're not. When you think them white girls is your friend, sisters, they not. Excuse me. When you're not there, they burying your ass. They burying your motherfucking ass. Never get too fucking comfortable around them motherfuckers. When I used to work with them motherfuckers, like I said at one of my other videos, at one time I was the only brother in a plant where 300-400 people used to work. Fuck that shit. I ain't going drinking with you motherfuckers. Y'all must be out y'all goddamn mind. I got my own ride. I go home. I might have one beer with y'all, then I'm out and never go to the second location. Ever. No. But anyway, keep these things in mind when you motherfuckers is hanging out with white people and thinking y'all ain't gonna get y'all nigga moment and thinking racism ain't touching y'all and thinking that people blowing racism out of proportion. No, we are not blowing racism out of proportion. That shit is real. That shit is alive and kicking in the era of Trump. That's the only good thing this fucker did for this country and brought the racism to the forefront so motherfuckers can see who they dealing with. Don't fall for the fucking okie doke. These crackers is not your friend. They don't love you. And the only way to beat them is to outsmart them. Stay away from them. Have your motherfucking own goddamn income stream set up where you don't need them in order to earn a living. And don't expect nothing from them. Do your fucking job. Come to work every day. Stay out their motherfucking face because they don't mean you no good. Morgan Freeman learning that shit the hard way. Just like a whole bunch of other people out there that got their nigga moment in the recent months. Anyway, enough with that. Like I said, this is my Morgan Freeman piece. Again, it's charcoal. This is the original reference piece. Took it off a magazine cover. And that's the piece I picked up and did from. That, like others, is available at tcedwards.com. Anyway, like and subscribe. Hit me with a comment. TC, and I'm out.